So here we have Missy, and during our lesson we talked about a couple things. The first thing, on the out of the water portion of your stroke, the recovery portion, you see how both your arms here were swinging. Your hand and your forearm, when they came around, were above your elbow. And what this does, it causes a little more work for the deltoids, the shoulders, when you keep your hand up like that, as opposed to having your hand and forearm basically below your elbow on the recovery. So I talk a lot about a high elbow catch on the catch phase of the stroke, but for you, high elbow recovery, which you can work on through fingertip drag, where you drag your fingers along the surface of the water, would probably be helpful. So your body position is good, your rotation is good, your extension is pretty good. You might be able to get a little more extension. Just work on lat flexibility and really reaching forward as far as possible. But that's all pretty good. So the big things that we worked on and talked about was transitioning your right arm when you're doing the catch to make that a straight arm pull instead of a elbow slip. So we'll talk about that when the underwater stuff comes up. So here, just get an idea of your rotation, which you can see you're rotating very well. Body position is good. Your head remains relatively stable through the stroke. It's not bobbing up and down. You can also see how high your hands swing when you recover. And here you can see that your hands really pull under your body when you're pulling. I've always, well, not always, but at this point I tend to think that you can get more power if you pull outside the line of your body. So when you pull back, at least through the first part, your hand doesn't come under your body. It only comes under your body when you rotate and you're finishing that stroke. So here you can see the right arm. The elbow sort of leads the stroke back there. And your left arm is more of a straight arm pull at this point. So we talked about if you can make your right arm a straight arm pull. I know you have shoulder issues there. And if you want, you could work on doing the high elbow catch with your left arm. Now, as far as the most power you can get out of the type of stroke, the weakest pull is if the elbow slips back because your hand and forearm never really get a grip on the water. They never angle appropriately. The next most powerful pull is a straight arm pull. You just miss out on the first quarter or third of the stroke where the water's being pushed more down than back. And then the most powerful pull is using the high elbow catch, where your hand and your forearm go vertical or perpendicular to the bottom of the pool as early as possible. And by doing that, the surface area of your hand and forearm is angled at such a point that you pull your body past it. You get a lot of leverage out of that sort of pull. So here you're working on a high elbow recovery and you're doing a good job there. This is some fingertip drag.
Elbow recovery.
So if you go back and watch
this is good.
Your normal stroke and then watch this.
So now I see that this is causing a slight delay in your
This
normal
looks a little
stroke timing.
smoother now. I know your timing here is slowed down.
So swim like this,
since you're really emphasizing the high elbow recovery.
Your turnover speed, right? So.
But part of the deal with being smoother in the water is that you're using a little bit less energy.
There's a little bit of a pause there at the finish,
and if it does
sort of
improve your
about,
streamline,
okay, I'm gonna drag my fingers along the surface of the
which
water.
you can make the argument if you swim with a
nice
arm swing, hand goes up or hand goes out to the side, then your body's going to counteract that motion. Right, and so here you're doing a straight arm pull with that right arm. So that is going to be a more powerful motion than allowing your elbow to lead the stroke back. When you swim, make sure you don't cup your hand too much. You want to keep your hand pretty flat, fingers close together. You don't have to cramp your hand up. Keep it loose, but keep the fingers close together. All right, and I hope that helps.